Hey guys, this is just a clip about my thoughts on the league and the Korean scene versus the NA scene. Don't take anything what I say as actual factual. It's just my opinion. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, Bipp here. Making a league video. This is just one of my random Twitch games. I just got done playing not too long ago, and I'm just gonna really talk about some other things while this plays in the background. I just didn't want it to be like a standstill frame or anything like that with me talking. So you guys can have some eye candy or something. I don't know. Eye candy's not a good word, but anyways, so I thought I would talk about I just got done watching the interview with Flame that's on Reddit, and I see a lot of these comments, and I think people are really too defensive about what those said because what Flame said has a lot of good meaning behind it. And I'm sorry for any background noise, my dishwasher's running, but what I'm getting to here so Flame kind of said a lot of things towards towards the NA scene, toward other regions compared to Korea, and how much weaker we are than them, which is completely true. I mean, we are, and if you deny that, then you really are blind. You should just go look at the All Stars, look at how their scenes play compared to ours. You really should just look at how everything else is played. Anyways, so what I'm getting to here is that um, the the scenes themselves aren't they aren't it's not like they're bad, but in the sense of okay, so Korea, what he said is that Korea is you know he doesn't really pay attention to other regions as much. I'm trying to think out how I want to say this, so sorry for the pauses. But okay, so what I'm gonna say here is my own opinion, and I'm just trying to walk a fine line and not be disrespectful because I do believe that NA is not awful. But okay, so what Korea does, and one thing that Flame said that really stuck out to me is when they asked him the question, it had nothing to do with the other regions. They simply asked him, "How do you dominate top lane? What do you do that makes you dominate it?" And he said, quite simply, he said that he plays and thinks that he is going to win the lane and dominate it. That's the number one thing. He goes into the lane with that mentality of knowing that he can win the lane, that he can dominate it. Regardless of who he's facing, he just has that mentality. When you have that kind of mentality, you actually will perform better. Not saying you're going to win lane every time, but if you go into a mentality with confidence, not being cocky and arrogant, because cockiness leads to mistakes, and you can ask CJ Plays just about that and how their spring finals with MVP Ozone, how cocky they were about it, and that's just a prime example of what exactly happened. Um, so what I'm getting to here is with all of that being said, um, you don't have like MVP, how they were underestimated and stuff. They were, people were cocky with them, and CJ Blaze, I'm sorry, was, and they got destroyed because of it. And so don't go into a lane and be like, oh my god, I'm going to direct this lane. So you're probably going to get beat because you're going to overestimate yourself and underestimate your opponent. However, don't go into it being like, oh my god, I'm facing a Trendamere. He's just going to own me. Oh my goodness, why does this game hate me? Just focus on what you got to do as a player, and you'll do better. I'm not saying you're going to win lane, but the chances are you're going to do a lot better if you go into it with some kind of confidence. And that's something that NA lacks in general. I feel not just in the pro scene, but just in general about how we play in solo queue, how we play in general. If we don't have confidence, we see an OP champion laning against, we think it's GG. And they focus in, and Korea they win lane. Another thing that stuck out to me with what he said is that Korea, the reason that he feels like other regions aren't as strong as Korea, and I completely agree with this, is the training regimen is completely different. They practice, and that's all they do. They wake up, they scrim, they solo queue, whatever. They practice, they sleep. And they play professionally, like a professional athlete would. Okay, they practice, and then they play, and then they keep going. Okay, and they work together as a team. And NA, you see a lot of streaming, you see a lot of solo queue, you see a lot of just being stupid, going out and doing stuff, which is fine. But he basically, to paraphrase what he said is, and this is a comment I'm stealing from Reddit, is that you, what he's saying is they're professionals not living a professional lifestyle, and the style that they live isn't going to get them anywhere. So why think that you're going to do great if you aren't practicing as much as you want? Like, you're just going to be as good as that. And so, which, is like, has something to do with what I'm about to say. Another thing that I think is a problem in NA scene is that, like, we we see ourselves as good and we stop striving to be better. We don't seek improvement. And, like, that's the biggest issue is you always have to improve. Like, and I'm just going to use somebody as an example here. I have no personal problems with this guy at all, but Double Lift, like, he considers himself one of the best 80 carries in the world, okay? Is he probably the best 80 carry in NA? Yeah, there's a good chance. He's definitely one of the top 80 carries in North America. Um, I don't know if you guys know this, but, like, apparently, according to a couple people have told me, Korea's bottom lanes are considered lackluster compared to, like, China and stuff. And I don't watch Chinese videos or anything, so I couldn't tell you for exact like how it works. But, like, I can think of at least 3 bottom lanes that would just completely destroy Double Lift in his bottom lane. And, like, individually skilled wise too. Imp and Mata, for starters, are an amazing bottom lane with MVP Ozone, and they play ridiculously good. And also with Mad Life's bot lane, I can never remember the name of his 80 carry. They're ridiculously good. And also Captain Jack in his lane, because, like, he plays really good. And not only does he play really good, but he like, his cleanses and all. But the reason these guys are also good is because they strive to improve. They don't consider themselves the best players in the world. Ask them. Be like, hey, are you the best 80 carry in the world? Well, I might be one of the best. Not the best, but you might be one of the best. And, like, the thing about that I think is ironic is because they say that they're constantly striving to be better than the next guy. They have to be, because of how many good players there are in Korea. They have to keep striving to be better, or else they won't. They'll fall off. Their team won't do good. And that's the difference. It's like you don't have a skill cap on League. It just isn't there. And you need to, like, the sooner you get over that, the sooner you realize that, the better off you'll be. And there isn't. There's always room to improve is what I'm getting at with this, guys. And, like, another thing about the Koreans I've noticed, and what he said is, like, they hate losing. I mean, they hate it. They get so, like, if you want an example, go look at the MVP Ozone. I keep referencing them because it was, like, a really good series for me because I love MVP Ozone. But, like, go watch their series of CJ Blazer's MVP Ozone. Look at Ambition's face when he loses. Hell, look at it when he loses to God, who was it? KTB. When he loses to KTB in this summer, Champion Summer, he's angry. Like, in his face, so it's disgust, and it's bad. He is not okay with the fact that he just lost that game. He's upset about it. He's not, he's ticked off. He's mad at himself. He's mad at his team. And, wow, that was an unnecessary flash. Anyways, he's mad at his team, but more importantly, he's mad at himself. And, like, the thing is, hey, if they lose, they're like, well, it's all right. We'll make up for it next time. They don't really learn from their mistakes. They just accept defeat and move on from it. And that's not something you can do. Like, you need to learn from mistakes. You need to look at it. You need to grill yourselves and grill your teammates about losing. That's what the Koreans do. Like, what they do is they simply go and say, well, we lost because with Korea, like, okay, Ambition, why did you feed Dade so hard, or whatever. Not saying he did, just as an example. And NA, someone will be like, well, just next time try not to die so much. Try to just, if you're not winning lane, try to just farm. Like, it's not making improvements. You got to be mean. That's why, like, football coaches and sports coaches aren't nice about when they tell you to improve on something, because they want the point to get across. I think that, and I'm just going to hate on Sane for a second here because it seems to be something popular and kind of funny in my opinion, is that, like, everyone thinks that it's like Saint, like, missing Smite all the time. If Curse instead would think stop thinking it's so funny and instead would be like, Saint, why did you just miss Smite on Baron? They get Baron. We're already low health from doing Baron. They aced us. You missed Smite, so they smited it. So not only did they just get Baron, they aced us. They're probably going to get more than just the Baron objective, and you need to go hard on it. I don't care if he's your self-proclaimed team captain. You need to, like, you need to, like, make him feel worse as a, like, not necessarily worse as a player, but to the point where he needs to learn. And I'm not just saying Saint in general. Like, it happens all the. Sorry about that, guys. Say, my family was right behind me. I didn't want that noise coming through for you guys. Anyways, so if you were to, like, try to improve as a team, you could, and as players, you would get better as a team, and you'd be always getting better, and you'd, make less mistakes and be more improved. But instead, you laugh it off. You don't think it's that big of a deal. You don't improve. Um, and that's a huge thing. Like, improvement is huge in Korea. When they mess up, when they lose, they look for everything they did wrong to improve. And so, with that, I will say the last thing I really want to bring up about the American meta that kind of is, it's kind of shocking. Just two things. The kind of shocking is that, like, in that interview with Flame, he said no one's really a shot caller on our team. We all call out decisions. We're always communicating with each other, and then we go with what we think is the best decision. Your mutual agreement on a decision. There is no shot caller, which I think is huge. Like, the whole idea of a shot caller, in my opinion, is kind of silly because, well, for a lot of reasons, but the main reason being that, like, they're not always going to see what's going on, and they're not always going to make the right mistakes, and that doesn't mean their fault. And Saint Vicious with Curse, and I don't mean to hate on this guy because I love Curse. I like Saint Vicious. I don't have a problem with him, but he makes some stupid ass calls. And if their team would actually second guess and be like, "Wait, why are we doing that?" And then they explain the alternatives, and people have an open mind, which brings me to my next point in a second, and listen to it. Maybe, just maybe, they'll make improvements and they'll work better as a team, and as a team, like, communicate and make mutual decisions and be better. And that's all I'm saying. And which brings my next point is, like, a big problem that, like, not only America but Europe seems to have is taking constructive criticism. Like, people seem to have this big issue with being able to listen, and like, listen to what people say. Like, okay, Riven, why did you just turret dive a Trendemir? And they get all defensive about it, and like, well, you weren't there to help me, and yada, 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 I thought you were coming. Instead, be like, you know what, that was a stupid idea, my bad, won't happen next time. If they would actually listen to constructive criticism and learn from it, then, and I'm not saying be an ass about it, not be like, wow, Riven, you're so bad, you're an awful player. But, like, if you were to, like, be, instead, well, I guess if a Riven, I don't know. Anyways, instead be like, hey, or even just straight up tell them, be like, you should not dive a Trendemir. It's a dumb idea. What are you doing? And so, and they should, learn how to take the constructive criticism, which I think would make us a lot better as a region for playing, EU and NA both, in my opinion. Which brings me to my next point in Cloud9, because he even brought up Cloud9 and says that they're looking really strong, but I have an opinion on Cloud9, and it's kind of out there, but my opinion is simple that, like, if you're going to give Cloud9 all this love because they're using OP comps and OP champs and playing really good, you need to look at something. Korea does the same thing. They play OP champions, they play OP comps, and they play against each other on a daily basis. They scrim against each other, they play each other in champion spring or summer, etc. They're always playing against each other in these OP comps. So when Worlds come around and they go against Cloud9, Cloud9 runs their Shen top, Zac jungle, Zyra Ashe bot, Zed mid, Korea's going to have an answer for it because they're used to playing against stuff like that. I'm not saying Cloud9's doing it wrong. They should definitely be trying to play overpowered comps. But, like, Cloud9 isn't just going to phase roll the Worlds. And in my opinion, they're going to get phase rolled. Like, they're going to get beat really hard. And people need to, like, not be so surprised by it. And I know I'm going on a limb here, and I want Cloud9 to win. I want NA to win Worlds. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's going to happen if I'm being realistic. I certainly want to put my money on it happening. But, like, NA is not going to be able to compete with what Korea has. Like, in my opinion, it's pretty simple that, I think Cloud9's going to World for NA. I think Vulcan's going. And the third spot I can see going a lot, but I think TSM's getting hot right now, so they'll get it. And so my point here is, though, is that, like, I wouldn't put all your hopes and dreams into a Cloud9 team because I don't think they're going to do as well as everyone thinks they will. And so what I'm getting to here is, with all of this, NA can be as good as Korea. They really can be. Will they be? I don't know. They have to put a lot of their arrogance and pride behind and really work on becoming a better team in general, better teams in general, and really just, like, look for improvement. Get angry when you lose. Constructive criticism. Go everything I've said, look at that interview with Blaze and really look at what he said, and don't be so defensive about it. Like, he's right. he is telling you what they're doing, and it clearly works. Go watch OGN. Seriously, watch how different. You can notice a skill difference immensely between the two of them, and that's kind of disgusting if you really think about it. Um, and so what I'm getting to, guys, and in conclusion here, is this is my opinion of what's going down. I watched the interview. I want my opinions, not just on the interview, but on Korea itself and on NA. Um, I'd love to hear feedback. Make sure it's constructive, though. Don't, because I don't answer to trolls. Like, I don't go and say, "Wow, you're so fucking stupid." You know, Void Boy's a god, which I completely agree with you. But no, in all seriousness, you you know it don't just don't troll. Be serious about it, because I'm not going to respond to trolls. I will, however, respond to constructive criticism. I'd love to hear it. Anyways, and if you agree with me, tell me, because I'd love to hear the people actually see what I'm saying. All I'm saying, guys, is if any would stop being so damn, well, that Shaco outplayed the hell out of me there. Anyways, if any would not be so arrogant and would not just play so conceited to their ideals and actually be open-minded, we may actually compete at a better level with these teams. But until then, it's not going to happen. And by the way, I don't pretend to be good at this game. I'm a Bronze 1 player. I don't play bench ranked. I'll be honest, I don't. And you can laugh all Bronze 1. What are you talking about? Stop watching my video now. But I don't play ranked. I just play to have fun in the game because I don't have time to be really good at this game. I just like to play to have fun. What I'm getting to here is my viewpoints. I love to watch it, and I love to analyze what's going on with the games. And that's my opinion of it. Guys, I'd like to thank you for watching nonetheless. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment below and let me know what you think. I'd love to hear it. But that's just my opinions on the whole thing. And I don't get me wrong about it saying I do like NA. I love NA. I will root for NA regardless of how badly I think they're going to lose to any Korean team. I'm still going to root for them and hope they win and be sadly disappointed when they lose. But I'm not going to be surprised, is all I'm saying. So, guys, until next time, have a good one and good luck out there.